What's up, guys? Good morning, everyone. All right, so today's actually not a bad day. We have a few decent gappers this morning. You can see PTI is gapping up some. You can see EGO is gapping up some as well. ASTC, CASI. Gonna be watching all of these. Also watching MYO. It's moving up a little bit. TCAP gapping up a pretty significant amount. Gonna keep an eye on it as well. TENX gapping up some. Gonna be watching CLDR, see if it can rebound here from this huge drop. It closed at around, let's see, 22.24, and it's down to 14.50 right now. So a pretty significant drop with CLDR. We'll see what happens with it. AEHR, keeping an eye on this one as well, gapping up as well. EDAP. And so yeah, those are the ones I'm watching right now. Gonna see if ASTC can get over 3, and if not, maybe if I can short it on TradeNet, if it'll allow me to. Gonna watch that one. And you can see EGO is gapping up. It's a little extended, I think, up from 90 cents to $1.08 with a high of 111. Gonna be watching this one over the pre-market high, maybe on Robinhood, see if I can mess with it that way. But my main watch this morning is PTI. This one's gapping up from 445. It's at 505 now, so up 50 cents right now. So over 10% gap so far. We'll see what happens with it. What's up, 7? Really? I didn't even see that. China imposed tariffs on the U.S. last night. Alright, so let's see what the SPY is doing. SPY is down. Gonna see what the SPY does today at the open. That could be bad news. We'll see. Look at the Missouri. Look at the chat message above you. 7 just said that China imposed tariffs on the U.S. last night, and so that's most likely what caused the big drop. And the SPY. This thing fell hard. It had a good day yesterday, but that's going to affect our trading with China. So it's definitely not good news, I don't think. Good morning, D. Evan. What's up, Gary? I do have hotkeys set. I don't use them too much, but I do have them. I've never gotten comfortable using hotkeys. I can get in and out like this fast if I need to. Yeah, I bet. I don't know, 7. I mean, I think it's just a preference, you know. Like, I can click buy and short when I need to. Unless you're scalping, you know, really quick trades, you know, which I think hotkeys are definitely useful for. And a lot of my trades are scalps, but I think I can just click short and buy pretty quickly here anyway. And I've just never gotten accustomed to using hotkeys. It may be something I should work on, though. Good morning, Alba. I mean, China is just reacting to our president putting tariffs on them, you know. Our president put tariffs on China, and then so China reacted by putting tariffs on us. It's kind of a lose-lose in my opinion, but you know, we'll see what happens. There's no telling, you know. SPY could rebound, SPY could continue dropping. We'll see at the open. SLS, Joshua. Yeah, I made a watch list video yesterday. I'm going to try to put one out every day. I'm also going to try to put out a video review of my trades every day like I did yesterday. I'm definitely short biased with SLS. It's just been up so much already. It's up from the threes area, so you know I'm looking for it to fall back down under the 775 point and maybe get in going short. We'll see though. Yesterday I tried to short it and it bit me, so no telling what it'll do today. We'll see what happens. Good morning, Matt. Yeah, so am I, Matt. Actually, I forgot to sell my where is it, USAU, and you can see I'm down $10. I guess I'll hold it to see what happens, but if it starts to drop anymore, I'm just gonna bail out of it on Robinhood. My LABD put's not doing great either. It only says I'm down $5, but it says today I'm down $18, so it doesn't make sense. Thus is why I'm still completely new to options trades. Alright, so let's see if any of these stocks are actually tradable. I know PTI is, which is good because that's one of the main ones I'm watching. EGO is too? Really? TCAP is not, but EGO is, so that's awesome. CASI is, SLS is, nice. So they added SLS. CLDR is not, what? Oh, CLDR is not tradable, that's a bummer. TENX is, MYO I believe is, AEHR is not. Okay, so about 3 or 4 stocks are not tradable, but honestly the main ones that I want to trade are tradable. So every one of these is tradable. PTI, EGO, CASI, SLS. What's the other one I was watching? ASTC. I believe this one's I don't know. Actually, I don't think this one's tradable. Yeah, this one's not tradable, but no worries. That's what I have Robinhood for. So yeah, we got some decent movers this morning. I'm going to be watching PTI for an overextended short play. Right, look at this. Mine is too, man. Yeah, you can change it, I think, but it's only when it's night. In pre-market, it looks like that. In after hours. SRNE. Yeah, it's gapping down some. I made a decent amount of money on this one a few days ago. I got in going long here on, I guess it was Wednesday of last week. And wrote it up for some of this push. I sold right around here. And so it's been a little choppy since then. Let's look at SRNE's daily chart. Maybe that will help me see what. Yeah, I mean, SRNE bounced down to $4 and then rebounded up to $5.10. We'll see if it can hold over $5. You know, that's what I'd really look for with it, at least in my opinion, you know. I can't believe CLDR is not tradable. That's aggravating. CLDR is like a, it was a $23 stock. Right now it's a $14 stock, but usually stocks over 10 are tradable on TradeNet, and for some reason this one's not this morning, so that's a bummer. Let's look at TCAP. TCAP is not as well. Weird. So I most likely won't get into these just because they are too expensive for any of my small accounts, my tiny accounts like Robinhood or Ustock. But yeah, I'm going to be watching CASI, and PTI, and EGO. I'm kind of excited I can trade EGO this morning. It's a $1.09 stock. and yesterday it was 90 cents, but apparently TradeNet did add it and make it able to trade this morning, so that's always cool to see. CASI, PTI, so most of these stocks on my watch list are tradable. Going short on CSG. SCG. Yeah, it may be time for a pullback on SCG. SCG is tradable. I'll keep an eye on it. See, I don't want PTI to drop anymore. I'd actually prefer to hold and fill some of this gap going down this morning, but it's starting to fall, which I don't want to see. I want to see it hold over 478. But it's starting to fall, which is not really what I want to see here. TENX is another one I'm watching, and it's tradable as well. See, TENX is at 601, gapping up from 532, so gonna watch that one as well. Yeah, EGO, you can see that's one of my main watches today. It's gapping up from 90 cents or a little bit under 91 cents, and it's at 109 now with the pre-market high of 111. And so gonna watch that one for a pre-market high break, but it's also extended, so maybe looking for a short on the way down. Who knows? We'll see what it does. Okay. Yeah, I don't know anything about the MACD, man. Maybe I should start learning about that stuff. I do want to add moving averages to my charts. I might go ahead and do that now. The biggest reason I don't use moving averages and a lot of other stuff is I think it distracts me from price action. And so I just never really learned to use it too much, but every trader's different. We'll see what happens with these. So you can see CASI is gapping up a pretty big amount too. Gonna watch it over this 728 level. Set the pre-market high in these. But yeah, like I said, I'd like PTI to actually rebound, maybe get back over 5. The more it falls, I'm gonna be a little bit more long biased with it. If it stays up here over 5 and opens up above, then I may be more short biased with it, but we'll see. You know, no telling really. You see TENX is starting to push up and test that 640 pre-market high. LFIN still falling here. It had a little bit of a rebound yesterday. Alright, so let's look up why some of these are moving. I think that's important. And so the first one I'm going to start with is PTI, since that's probably one of my favorite ones. Let's try to see why it's moving like it is. You can see Spotify had its IPO yesterday, SPOT, and you can see somebody's going to be in trouble with Spotify. Their broker, their IPO broker, is going to be is going to be in a little hot water here. It dropped down from 169 to 143. That's never really what you want to see with an IPO, and so somebody kind of dropped the ball with it. We'll see what it does today. It's a little bit expensive for my taste, but I'll still watch it regardless and see what happens with it. Anyways, back to PTI. Alright, so PTI received its FDA Fast Track designation for the triple combination program in patients, in patients with cystic fibrosis. And so an FDA Fast Track with it. That's why PTI is up. So that's pretty good news. We'll look at EGO. Alright, so EGO is up after it confirmed a positive arbitration ruling, and so that's why EGO is up. Let's look at CASI. This one moved yesterday a lot, and so I think, let me see, I wrote down the news for CASI. CASI announced that it's going to present at the Wainwright Global Life Sciences Conference, and so I think it's a little bit of a puff piece. Gonna look to see if it'll fall some this morning. I mean, it's a little overextended in pre-market, but it's overextended for the day before, for yesterday, and so that's kind of what I'm looking for with CASI. We'll see what happens with it. I'll give it a little bit of time, judge off of that. TENX. Alright, so TENX announced the results of the pre-IND meeting with FDA for the phase 2 study of levosimendan in PH something patients. I'm reading it now to see exactly what that means. Alright, so the company answered questions and provided guidance on its upcoming phase 2 clinical trial. And so I guess people are excited about that. That's why TENX is gapping up some. EGO is starting to fall. I'm starting to be more and more short biased with this one. You know, it's down to 104 now. And so we'll see what happens if it bounces back. Also watching MYO here. It was gapping up to 369. It just dropped down to 338. We'll see if it has any type of news release to justify it moving this much in pre-market. Not really anything to say for MYO, at least that they're showing on Thinkorswim right now. TCAP, going to be watching for a short on this one. Alright, so TCAP announced the sale of investment portfolio and simultaneous externalization transaction. Alright, so I guess that's good news for TCAP. AKER, you're holding that one still. Yeah, it didn't have a great day yesterday. It ended up falling some yesterday. Alright, you can see TENX actually broke above that pre-market high at 640. It's at 674 now. So I'm going to be looking at TENX for a short as well. Depends on how much volume it has though. There's also AEHR. We could see why it's moving like this. It's gapping up some. Not really any news to say for AEHR. Yeah, there's some support at 460. There's some support at 455 here. And so right around the $0.50, there's a little bit of support for PTI. That'll probably, one of those areas will be my target if I do short it. I don't think I checked AEHR, but I don't think I can short it. No. Alright, so yeah, we actually got a few decent gappers this morning. Hopefully I can break the Wednesday curse. The last 2 weeks have been pretty good. Only had 3 losing days, including yesterday. But two out of the 3 days, the losing days in the past 2 weeks, have been on a Wednesday. And so either the market's not good, my daughter goes to choir at 6 a.m., and so I have to get up pretty early on Wednesdays. And so maybe it has to do with me not getting enough sleep. But hopefully I can break the Wednesday curse today and do a little bit better, you know. Spotify continues to fall here. You can see Spotify was the IPO that everybody was talking about yesterday. It's dropping down to 140, 140 now. Let's see if we can see any reason why Spotify is acting like this. All right, so Spotify, apparently it wasn't even an IPO. It says Spotify used direct listing because of unique situation. It didn't need to raise more money, but wanted to create share liquidity. Spotify Technology SA finally executed its rare direct listing on Tuesday, and after seeing how the process played out, experts said that the approach could be used by other startups, but only those in the rare position of not needing cash, but looking for a market for its shares. So yeah, basically they wanted more liquidity. They didn't care about the money. So maybe it's not a bad thing. Maybe the stockbroker that handled it isn't in trouble. It just looks like it. When an IPO happens and it just tanks like that, usually the stockbroker's in trouble. But maybe this is a different situation. FUSZ. Yeah, it's sitting right at 99 cents. Usually they want these stocks to hold over $1 for it to stay listed, and so we'll see what happens with it. EGY. EGY doesn't have any volume. We'll see if it can pick up some. I'll watch it, but not my favorite. GEN. Yeah, GEN's kind of been steadily falling, but it may have hit his bottom at 126. We'll see what happens. I'm watching TENX. Look at TENX. It's still pushing here. Definitely watching this one for potential short. Although in this market, it could very easily start pushing up and go supernova. So I'm going to watch it. Be careful with it. But it's up so much already from 730. From 532 all the way to 732 or 730. So up about $2 already. Over $2 now. And so it's steadily climbing. It's at 777 now. Just dropped down to 735, so I'll watch this one for sure, but I'm more short biased, definitely more short biased with it. Yeah, I'm keeping an eye on MYO. It originally was gapping up, but you can see it's down to 338 now, so it's technically gapping down after kind of a nice push later on yesterday. Went up to 369, just dropped though, so we'll see what happens with it. These 4 are my main watches this morning: PTI, EGO, CASI, and TENX. TENX definitely needs some more volume, but it's moving pretty strong. You can't really say much. You can't really hate on it for moving this much. It's up to 780 now, but up to 803. So yeah, this is definitely going to be a short. At least for me, I'm going to be watching it with some short bias. I don't know what's going to happen, but you know, when I see a stock gap up this much, I'm definitely a little short biased with it. Although the news was good. And so we'll see what happens. I'd prefer PTI to bounce back. Like I said, it's continues to kind of fall in pre-market. I'd prefer it to bounce back to give me a little bit of room to short it, because I mean, if it gets down here, you know, at 450, I'm not too confident in it. We'll see what happens. But man, this thing has a huge range in pre-market already. It's bouncing up and down dollars at a time with TENX. It's trying to hold over $8 now, so we'll see what happens. But man, pretty big gap. Good morning, Atheon. What's up, man? All right, so TENX up to $8.20. Back down to 8. We'll see what happens. A little bit of a pullback on EGO. Gonna watch it around 1. See if it can move back and bounce back some. TENX back up to 820. So I have until April, I think April 20th or April 30th to sell LABD, my call. It's not looking great by now, and it's been down so much in the last year. It's down from 120. Which would basically be $12.08 because of the reverse split it had. EGO down to 4. And man, look at TENX, guys. This thing has just been on a steady push up to 850 now. Yeah, I don't know about hyped, man. Yeah, I never got into golf. Alright, so we do have some decent gappers this morning, though. TENX and PTI probably my main watches, but also going to keep an eye on CASI and EGO. A lot of momentum with these stocks. Going to see what happens with them. Up to 850 on TENX. We'll see if it can break. I'll be right back, guys. Alright, I'm back. So yeah, it looks like TENX couldn't get over that 850 level. We'll see what happens with it. CASI starting to wash some. Alright, up to $9 with TENX. You know, I was short biased with this one just because it's up so much already. But the way it's moving in pre-market, it looks like it wants to go parabolic here, guys. And it's just moving so much. I'm going to be really, really careful with it. Because even with 10 shares, you know, I could be down a lot very, very quickly with it. Now, it's riding the EMA, the moving average, you can see. Sitting right around $8 now with the moving average, maybe $8.10. But man, this thing has been pretty parabolic so far in pre-market. Yeah, you can see ASTC just broke the pre-market high. It's at the 307 now. But yeah, ASTC. I don't think I can trade this one on TradeNet, unfortunately. PTI down to 480, which is not what I wanted to see with it. But I do have a lot of options this morning, and so I just need to take my time, find the best setups that I see, and be patient. Try to hold on to those good setups. Yeah, you know, TENX, I was definitely short biased with it because look how much it's up, guys. I mean, it's just riding this EMA pretty hard here. But when a stock moves like this, it could be parabolic, and so I'm going to be careful with it just because this is a crazy move. It's already up to here. You can see this big push on this specific day, and it went all the way up to 1270, and so that's the closest resistance to it right now. You know, not necessarily, not really. Let me see. At 9, it has some resistance. It does have a little bit of resistance at 9. So we'll see how it reacts to it. Try to give it some time to work, but, you know, gonna be careful with it for sure. Gonna be looking at ASTC on Robinhood. I wish Robinhood would allow me to short because I'm definitely short biased with ASTC. But I'm also going to be paying attention to EGO. Because if TENX gets over 9 and holds and continues pushing, it essentially breaks that resistance it had there. And so we'll see what happens, but got to be careful for sure. There it goes up to 940 now. So this thing is on a crazy move. I think people that are trading this in pre-market are going to start selling at the open though. Maybe it'll start a squeeze on the downward side, but I'm going to be careful. Up to 947 with TENX, so just a ridiculous move here, guys. Crazy move up. up to 970 now, TENX. So the next resistance is around $12 here. But just a crazy move. Alright guys, so market's opening up in about 5 minutes. So I can't short ASTC, but if I could, for instance, you know, this thing gapped up a huge amount, over 10%, and so if I could short it, I essentially want to see it make a break for that 318 level, maybe get rejected, and then break the low of the day. So I don't know where that will be, where the low of the day will be, but that's kind of the point I'm looking for. When I short a stock, I usually wait for it to form 1 or 2 1-minute candles, and then I like to get in once it breaks the low of those few candles and go in short and ride it down some. And so that's ultimately what I look for with shorts. I can't short ASTC, unfortunately, not on TradeNet, but that's what I would look for with it. I don't want to say where I would short it now because I really don't know where that low is going to be. But I wait for the first few candles to form a low, and then I wait for it to break underneath that low and get in going short on the way down, you know. But TENX up to 1020 now. But at the same time, I do like 280. You can see it has a little bit of support there. So if it breaks under that, may start filling more of this gap. But like I said, I usually like to just wait for a low of the day break, regardless of where this resistance and support is. I always have to take this into consideration, but I wait for low of the day breaks with it. All right, EGO at $1.03. We'll see if it can rebound some here. But man, look at TENX. This thing has just not stopped this morning. Really good volume, up to 1040 now. EGEO is dropping down some. Maybe look to see if it holds and pushes back over $1 with EGO. We'll see. BIOC. Yeah, BIOC, it went up to 35, but it fell right back down to 25. And so we'll see what happens with it. All right, guys, market's opening up in about a minute and a half. Good luck, everyone. We got 1 minute left. All right, so TENX got rejected at 10. Keeping an eye on it still. Also watching CASI, PTI, EGO, and ASTC. Those are my main watches. We got about 30 seconds, guys. EGO dropping down to 1 now. Gonna see if it bounces off of that $1 point. Alright guys, market's opening up in 5 seconds. Good luck, everyone. There's the open. Alright, so let's see what we can get into this morning. TENX still firmly pushing up here. Crazy move. Watching TCAP, TCAP. All right, there goes ASTC's falling down to 280. All right, TENX still pushing up strong here. Broke the pre-market high up to 1080 now. There goes PTI falling. It just didn't give me an entrance. And it's a little too low now for PTI. TENX is up to 11. Up to 1105 on TENX. ASTC falling down to 272. Ugh, man, I missed it, man. I was looking to short CASI. You can see it broke the low of the day right here on 678. But, man, that thing fell quick. And so I just couldn't take advantage of it. TENX here. But, man, I wanted to short CASI bad, but I just couldn't take advantage of it. The move was too quick. You can see it broke this low of the day here at 680 and then just crashed all the way down to 650. There's the low of the day break on TENX here. And CASI just moved too quick for me. Oh, NVO is moving some. TCAP, looking for it to continue dropping here, fill some of this gap, maybe going down. PTI trying to bounce back some, maybe looking at a washout long over this 480 level, 486 level. See if we can get up there. But yeah, everything I thought would drop dropped at the open, but not really too many entries that it gave me. SSC starting to run here. SSC up to 324 now. Small gap. SSC continues to push here. It's up to 325 now after a little 1 minute pullback. Ugh, trying to short. This is what I hate, man. Tried to short CASI there. It just would not fill me. At this low of the day break, exactly what I was talking about earlier. Down to 625 now. A little bit too late to jump in. Not going to chase it. SSC running up here. You can see a nice 1 minute pullback set up on SSC. And there goes TENX's crash down to 9. BDR. Yeah, look at BDR here. Somebody called this one in pre-market too. Good call. Frustrated. I was trying to jump in CASI right here at about 642, and it just wouldn't fill me. Too late now. Yeah, you know, honestly, you can see how effective, if you look at overextended stocks, many times they fail. And you can see a good example is CASI, PTI, failed, went all the way down to 450. At the open, TENX started to fail. It may bounce back, though, here. It's finding a lot of support at this $9 level. Also watching TCAP. See if it breaks this high right here for a washout long over 12. And there goes the bounce back on TENX. TENX is rebounding here. It's at 1050. See, CASI, I tried to jump in at 640. And it's down to 618 now. I got to start just clicking the bid or the ask and jumping in that way. Watching TCAP pretty closely here for a washout long setup. There's PTI for a washout long. Want to see it get back over that. What? TCAP isn't tradable. It said it was. TCAP is not tradable, man. The one stock I was looking to get in at. This nice washout long setup. Well, moving on. As you can see, I was trying to jump in TCAP there, but it's not tradable on TradeNet, unfortunately. But yeah, CASI was the stock to short. Just missed it. Wanted to get in here at 680. Missed it. Tried to get back in at 640. Missed it as well. And so, you see TCAP tried to get in, not tradable. Broke the pre-market high with the washout long setup. PTI failing here. Is TENX going to go supernova today up to 12? Let's see. Maybe looking at CASI for a low of the day short here. You see ASNA breaking that high as well. Not the biggest range, but breaking the high regardless. Gonna wait for a few better entries with these. AGI Having a little bit of momentum today. BASI, same thing. GCI trying to push back up, fill some of that gap down. What's the SPY doing today? I'm assuming it's dropping. No, it's rebounding. That's good to see. MYO here. Maybe looking for a low of the day short here. At 620 something. DARE had a little bit of a spike. AKER is rebounding here, 7 if you're still holding it. Well, tried to get into a few positions today, just wouldn't get filled. SSC still doing well. Now it's just a patient game. See if I have the patience to wait for a good setup instead of just blindly jumping in. At the same time, I have a little bit of confidence. I said I was watching CASI for a short, and I tried to get in multiple places that would have been a profitable trade. The best one at 680 right here, but just wouldn't get filled or it moved too quickly. But my trade idea was correct with CASI. So give me a little bit of confidence here. TENX, like I said before the open, you know, usually I'm short biased with these big up gappers like this that are so crazy in pre-market, but because it had so much momentum, you know, everybody might be jumping on the hype train with TENX, and thus it could cause it to push up. MYO here, I may jump in MYO. Just broke the low of the day, but man, these things are moving quick today. Wanted to jump in at this low of the day break, but look how fast this thing moves when it does finally break the low of the day. Frustrating. Like I said earlier in the stream, I was watching this one for a low of the day break here at 325. It's not a 314 now. Just moved a little bit too fast. Let's look at the daily. BPTH. Yeah, BPTH had a nice little washout long once it broke this 206 level. It's up to 215. Yeah, I agree with Sean, actually. I think it's risky. You know, I don't want to say what to do because, I mean, obviously it could easily push up and start on a crazy run, especially with some of these parabolic moves the market's been making in the last 2 or 3 weeks. But with all that being said, this thing is up, you know. Over $5. Oh, you know, over 100% in a day, you know, and an hour or two, it's up over 100%. So with that said, it could easily crash too. So I don't want to say what to do with it. There's no telling. It could have a lot of momentum. It's trying to break the high of the day now. It looks strong, but you know, no telling. That 1192 point, it's trying to break it now. RXII. Wow, look at RXII, guys. Good call. RXII is tradable. This thing's halted, it looks like. I'm assuming it's halted. It's not showing up. For some reason, Thinkorswim stopped blanking out the level 2 when a stock's halted. Usually when a stock was halted on Thinkorswim, the level 2 would be blank except for one bid and one ask. But since none of them are moving, and since the ask is at 413 and the bid is 478, I'm assuming RXII is now halted. Watching CSAI under the 608 level for a short, but that resistance or that support at $6 is going to be right there after it breaks that level. So taking my time here. I'm going to go ahead and get out of USAU for a tiny loss compared to what it was. No, I don't want to buy. I want to sell. There we go. Alright, so I'm out of USAU, something I was holding from yesterday. But yeah, I wish I could have shorted ASTC here. Let's see, when was this halted? At 8:48. So we still got some time. Yeah, the entry would have been 270, but doesn't give you too much time to work with it. What happened, Jackson? Tell me about it, man. What happened, bro? Let me know, man. I'll see if I can try to help get your mind out of it, bro. Tell us about it. So were you shorting it or going long, Jackson? GES pushing up really nice here, breaking the high of the day. GES. RXII is resumed, gapping up some at 516. Not going to touch it though. Could very easily pull back down, fill this gap, and end up at $4 within a few minutes. So going to be very careful with RXII here. See if it bounces off of that $0.50 support at 450. Watching EGO here. Looks like it's finding some support at 95. Gonna look for a pushback up over 1 sometime today. PIR. Been running up some, not much volume though. We'll see if it bounces back. PTI is trying to get back over the high of the day, but after all these failed pushes, I just don't trust it. Oh, that's rough, Jackson. When did you get into it? Nice, NYC. Hope you made a ton of money with that one, bro. That one is super crazy. See, did anybody hear what I said about 5 minutes ago? I said I'm not going to jump in RXII because it could very easily fill this gap down and end up at $4 in a few minutes. It did exactly that to the T. And so this is a very common thing I see with halted stocks. And so it's really tempting to jump into a halted stock. And many times it will be profitable if you do jump into a halted stock. But a lot of the time when a stock like this resumes, it's going to fill the entire gap. You can see the gap was in between here and here. A lot of the time it's going to fill the entire gap going down and end up lower than when it was halted. And this is a prime example of it here on RXII. Now, in my opinion, it doesn't mean you should short it because you never know if that thing's going to keep going up and be a parabolic runner. But, you know, this is a good example of how sometimes halted stocks fill the gap after they resume. And so you got to be careful with them. All right, there goes PTI breaking the high of the day. Like I said, I just don't trust it. Nice, NYC. Good job, bro. Nice stock operator. Oh, I'm guessing you got in like right here. Huh? Like right here? After it had that first green flag. You tried to get in when it broke the high, or right around the high, and then it just crashed. Yeah, one thing I like to do is I like to wait for at least 2 candles on the 1 minute chart to form. So at least 2 minutes into the market is what I like to wait for. But everybody's different. And you'll bounce back, man. You know, don't worry about it. Like you'll bounce back. Like I've lost so much money trading, honestly. Like in the last 2 years of my trading career, I've probably lost, you know, I know I've lost thousands. Only until the past few months have I been a little bit consistent. But it takes time, man. If you read the book Market Wizards by Jack Schwager, you know, he kind of interviews all these profitable traders, and one of the common denominators between all of them is that they always lost money from the beginning. Unless you're an outlier and you get really lucky, most traders lose money when they first get started. And it's just about having that perseverance to keep pushing and to keep learning until you can be profitable. You know, another thing is that if you watch me trade, I use tiny sizing. Until I learn how to trade profitably, it only makes sense for me to use small sizing because that way I can learn to trade, and when I take losses, they're going to be relatively small. Once I finally become profitable, then I can up my share size and take advantage of it. But until I'm actually consistently profitable, you know, on a weekly or monthly basis, you know, I'm going to be using tiny sizing until then. And I've just now found a little bit of consistency, so it's just about time for me to start using larger sizing. But, you know, I've been using small sizing for months and months now. And so, you know, maybe try to use smaller sizing and take a little bit of time, try to learn and be consistent. And then once you're consistent, maybe up your share size then. Right, everybody loses when they first get started. You know, I know saying everybody is kind of a broad statement, but a huge majority of people lose when they first get started trading. That's why I always try to tell people, if you want to get started trading, and you have a certain amount of money, say $2,000 saved up, you have to be okay with losing that $2,000 because you most likely will, especially if you've never traded before. You know, and it can be really emotional, really tough to kind of hang in there and learn how to trade and stay with it. But eventually it'll, you know, it'll turn around for you. Yes, Danny, you can. It's called a get out order on U stock. C7, you're actually doing way better than I was, man. My first 2 months, I lost 2,000 probably. If you guys go watch my really old videos from when I traded on SureTrader, I lost a few grand very, very quickly. And so $200, that's a good, that's a good tuition compared to my 2000. I overpaid for my tuition. And it's because I was using such huge sizing. I was using 500, 1,000 shares, trying to win back my losses every time I had one. Wanted every day to be profitable, never wanted to have a losing day. And so I would always try to win back my losses until it just snowballed and I just took larger and larger losses and my account was gone. And then I would redeposit and lose that money until I just stopped trading for a few months. If you watch my videos, I traded on SureTrader when I first got started, and there was like a 7-month break in between there. Like I couldn't deal with it. I couldn't handle it. I just said, look, I'm done. Eventually I got the bug to kind of start trading again, but I made a mental note that I'm going to use much smaller sizing when I get started, and it's definitely done me a little bit better. Simple, Joshua. Commissions. So if I'm going to use little sizing, look at EDGE here. EDGE trying to break the high of the day at 110. But yeah, it's simple. Commissions, Joshua. If I'm going to use tiny sizing so I can actually take the time to learn how to trade, I have to have a broker that offers me cheap commissions. And so TradeNet, for instance, is only $3 per trade. So with $3, I can get in and out of a stock with 100 shares. U-Stock, only $1 commissions. And so I can get in and out of a stock with $1. Robinhood, 100% free commissions. And so if you look at my kind of philosophy with using small sizing, you have to have the brokers, sometimes the smaller brokers, to implement that, just because they're the ones that offer the really cheap commissions. Oh, 100% insurance. Once you do size up, and see, this has been my problem with sizing up. I'll be consistent. I'll be consistently profitable. Like, for instance, the last 2 weeks, I have had only 3 losing days in the last 2 weeks. If you watch my streams, they're all verified. You can watch me do it. In the last 3 weeks, I've only had 3 losing days on TradeNet. But when I try to use bigger sizing, the one time I try to use bigger sizing, I have a losing trade. And so it scares me back down to using smaller sizing again. And so, it's a cycle, man. And you just got to get over the mental hurdle. It's tough. EDGE, though, pushing over 114. Right, exactly, Salty. $2 per round trip. And trading's tough, man. There's a reason why only 10% of traders actually succeed. And it's because it's perseverance, man. You got to persevere through all those losses, those tough emotional fails and everything like that. Like, it's tough. It's emotional. When you're playing for money, when you're trading with real money, it's damn sure emotional. You know what I mean? And so the reason most traders fail, number one, is they use too big of sizing when they first get started. And that directly correlates with number two, which is they chase they try to win back their losses. And so when you try to win back your losses and you're using larger sizing than you should be, and you're a brand new trader that really doesn't know what he's doing, your losses are just going to snowball and you're going to end up taking hundreds and hundreds of dollars, hundreds and hundreds of losses. And it's going to hurt. You know what I mean? And then most of the time, new traders just quit after that because it's tough, And so and then they just get lumped into that 90% that fail, But the traders that stick with it and, take the time to learn how to trade profitably and stick with it, even though they've taken big losses, they're the ones that are ultimately in that 10% that succeed. See you, Mitch. Appreciate watching, man. Hope to see you tomorrow, dude. Another thing is like sometimes you just got to be able to do what I'm doing today. You know, like I didn't see any setups I really liked, and so I just kind of stayed out of it. I tried to get in CASI, which would have been a profitable trade. I tried to get in at 680 and then again at this 642 level. And so I would have had a lot of room to make profits. It would have been a killer trade. But I just didn't get filled on Ustock. I should have just clicked the ask and got filled that way. But I was a little bit too late and I'm not going to chase it. And so today I just haven't gotten in anything yet. Don't see anything else I really like that much. And so nothing wrong with just taking it slow here. Watching EGO, I'm still waiting to see if it rebounds today. Maybe breaks over 1. Maybe I'll jump in on Robinhood. I'm going to jump in EGO here, see if it has that time to push up. Before I do that, let me look at the daily. No, I don't know. Oh, there's the low of the day break on CASI. See if I have the time to jump into it here. I don't know. I don't know about that bounce. Alright, so PTI is trying to push up still. Let's see if he can get over 5. 7 is kind of like a coin flip. You don't know if the earnings are going to be good or bad. You don't know how the market's going to react to it. And so it's a little bit of like a coin flip with if they're announcing earnings after. You could try to guess which way the earnings are going to go, but it's kind of like a coin flip. It could, be really good for you. It could be really bad. You don't really know until the earnings are released. A lot of times people try to speculate with that stuff, but you never really know, man. PTI breaking over 5. It just doesn't have a big enough range with these push-ups for me to want to get in PTI here. Usually when it pushes up, it doesn't push up much, and it follows through with a big pullback here, so... what scanners? I use trade ideas. I have trade ideas, but I have the money to use trade ideas, and so at the same time, if I'm being completely honest, I don't think trade ideas is 100% necessary. You can find out moving stocks through this stream, for instance. I call out most stocks that are running. You can find moving stocks with. I use stockmarketwatch.com. It will tell you the gappers and pre-market and after hours, and so you'll be able to see what's moving, the biggest percentage gains. There's just a lot of free scanners that you can use as opposed to, I'm going to try to get an EGO here on Robinhood. Just because it's holding over the EMA. And see if it'll push back up over 1. But yeah, I don't think a scanner is super necessary for traders. Or a paid scanner, one that you have to pay for. I have trade ideas. I really like it. It's a good scanner, but I don't think it's completely necessary for traders, if I'm being honest. Most scanners are decent. Trade ideas is decent. I like it. But it's $100 and something a month, and so it's all up to you. If you have the money to spend on a scanner, great. If you don't, you don't really need it. In all honesty, there's a lot of other ways to see what's moving in the market, so... Alright, so I'm kind of watching CASI here for a low of the day break. I don't like the fact that it dropped down to 6. If you watched the stream any earlier, I said that I kind of like it for a low of the day break, but I'm a little bit worried because it has that $6 support right underneath it. And so it may bounce off the whole dollar right here. And so that's what I'm worried about. So we'll see if it breaks under. Try to give it time. EGO is not really doing what I want it to. I may jump out of it for like a dollar loss here. It broke under the moving average, and so don't like it as much. Try to give it time. Get in, get out if it breaks the low of the day. Probably set a stop loss at 92 cents. Maybe 91. Try to give it a little bit of time. Just in case it starts to tank after that. Alright, CASI testing the whole dollar of 6. Maybe going to jump in here with a really small share size. Right. I mean, I don't think a scanner is completely necessary. Every time CASI drops, it drops so quick, and I try to hit my order with CASI, but it just doesn't fill me. I got to figure out how to set up a hotkey for the ask. Let me try to do that now, because this is starting to frustrate me. I tried to get in this thing twice. I'll have to fool with it after the stream ends. One of the biggest problems is I struggle with knowing when to get out of a stock when I'm up. Yeah, you know, I usually try to base it off of support and resistance areas, especially like half dollars and whole dollars. And so, for instance, if I got in this stock at 642 or whatever right here when it broke this low of the day, my plan would be to get out at $6, around $6. So right when it gets up to that previous support at 6, or the whole dollar support at 6, because a lot of times they'll bounce off of whole dollars and half dollars. And so that's usually what I use to kind of guide my path. Or just whenever I feel comfortable, if I'm up a decent amount and I don't feel comfortable holding it anymore, you know, there's nothing wrong with exiting the trade then as well. But I think a more technical way is just to watch for whole dollars, watch for the moving averages and stuff like that. Good thing I didn't get in CASI here. It was a complete fake out, and it was down so much already. I guess that makes sense. So yeah, we'll see what TENX does for the rest of the day. What's the SPY doing? SPY's up today. Your girlfriend is pregnant. This baby is coming soon. Any advice? Get your sleep now, bro. Because once that baby's born, you're not going to get any sleep, especially if you're living with your girl. Get your sleep now, dude, because once that baby is born, you're not going to have any sleep, man. Newborns, they wake up every 3 or 4 hours. They sleep a lot, but you're not going to have any consistent sleep for months until he grows up a little bit, or he or she grows up a little bit. And so get your sleep now is the best advice I have. But congrats, man. That's awesome. Kids are great. They drive me crazy, but, you know, they're awesome. Wouldn't have it any other way, man. TOPS. Yeah, TOPS has been on a little bit of a run today. It's had a lot of resistance around here at 180. Yeah, you know, just be careful. It may bounce off at 250 outsider. Yeah, TENX is just sideways, indecisive, can't make up its mind. If it falls under this 1050 level, it may start washing a little bit more. No problem, David. Appreciate watching, man. Yeah, sorry I didn't get into anything today, guys. Nothing really wrong with just being patient and observing, especially if you don't see any premium setups. And today I missed out on the premium setups I did see with CASI, unfortunately. And so I just wasn't able to get into it where I wanted it to. But it would have been a nice trade, build my confidence up a little bit. Wednesdays are my cursed day, and so I guess it's not too bad that I didn't get in anything on TradeNet this morning. TOPS broke 180. Yeah, it's up to 181. You see if it holds support over that area now. But yeah, my kind of profit window, the window I do the best at is within the first 30 minutes to an hour after the open. Anything after that, it's kind of a coin flip whether it'll be a profitable trade or not. And so I try to stick to that little time frame, you know, usually within 30 minutes of my trades is when I try to get in and out of my positions. Appreciate it, NYC. Yeah, hit the like button, guys, if you appreciate this content. I'm going to go ahead and close the stream down now, though. Not much moving. Don't really see too much. Kind of watching TOPS here. See if we can break that 183 level. Break the high of the day. But yeah, guys, I'm going to go ahead and close it down now. Appreciate everybody watching and talking with me today. If you want to see me day trade live, make sure you join us tomorrow morning at 8:45 a.m. market time. I review what's moving and then day trade live on stream. And so hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Everybody do me a favor, click the like button right now on this video if you appreciate this content and want to help support us. And yeah, guys, very slow day for me today. Saw a few decent setups, didn't get filled and whatnot. So not too bad. I'll take a break-even day. We'll see what happens with that one trade I'm on EGO with. See if that'll work out for me. But yeah, guys, good luck for the rest of the day. I'll try to put out a watch list video again tonight, and so be on the lookout for that. And yeah, good luck for the rest of the day. I'll see you guys tomorrow, hopefully. Have a good one.